80 and 443, both it will use. Okay. Host, what is port number for host? Host port number. Nine not two. Uncommon DNS they will ask 53, DHCP 67, RDP 3389, SSH 22, FTP, another common question 21. These are the port numbers we use. Fine. Any question here? Any other networking question that you have faced or heard? Again, what is vmotion? Okay. So live migration of a VM from one host to another host without impacting the OS or applications. Why we need vmotion? To avoid application outage during planned maintenance, hardware or ESXi OS. Minimum requirements are prerequisites for vmotion. Yep, save. Save network settings. Same port group name, VLAN ID. Same CPU family and generation. Okay. No CD, DVD. Shared storage. Shared storage. vMotion should be enabled. vMotion background process. Okay. Then we initiate vMotion. vMotion source host will create bitmap image contains VM running state IOPS. Move the bitmap image to the destination host over VM kernel port group. IO stun will happen. The VM on source host and resume on the destination host. The VM will continue from the destination host. So IO stun will happen and resume. This will be less than 20 milliseconds. That's the background procedure we have to answer. When we initiate vMotion, the source host will prepare the bitmap image of the virtual machine. So it will copy its RAM, CPU, IO operations, network and disk, both IO ops will be input and output operations with respect to disk and network will be copied, and that will move to the destination host. Okay. Then it will stop the IO operations on the source host. It's called IO stun. Just halt the IO input and output operations. That means everything will be stopped and will be resumed from the destination. The same, it will continue from the secondary host, destination host. Okay, so that we have to say that's a background process for vMotion. And very common real-time, this you fulfill scenario-based or real-time based questions. vMotion is failed at 10% or 20%. How will you troubleshoot? That's a question. So common failures, the minimum requirements are already satisfied. I think yesterday only we discussed in the regular class. Not sure how many of you were there.
We'll check the MTU value.
Yes. One is the MTU value and
And
another
we
one is
will
the
also
port
check
group where
the
we have
vMotion
enabled.
port. Enable.
Yes, vMotion port group and MTU value is the reasons. Two are the two reasons. Okay, so there is a setting called MTU, maximum transmission unit. So normally 1500 it will be there. Our second option is 9000. 9000 is called jumbo frames. the message packet, right, from the host, any virtual machine, the packet will be leaving from from network side to destination, from source to destination. The packet capacity, the frame, is called, I'm saying like packet is wrapped, like that's called frame. This packet is called frame. Normally 1500, smaller. 9000 means bigger packet. That's why they called it as jumbo frames. When 9000 is enabled, it's called jumbo frames are enabled. Okay. So, okay. Okay, normally it will be 1500. So on a virtual switch level, we can enable it. On a physical switch, we can enable it. So M2 is the value on virtual switch and physical switch. This is the transmission unit. Maximum transmission unit by default it will be 1500. Let's say here it is 9000. This is a background setting. We cannot from our virtual switch we can check, but we don't know what is the value on the physical switch. If you did not coordinate with that, or maybe there was no discussion about this thing during the initial installation, there may be different value here, there different value here. Okay, it's like you are trying to send some traffic from here to here, it will receive smaller packets you are trying to send, and switch has capability of handling bigger frames as well. It will handle it. But what about from coming from here, the switch will, what if tries to send a bigger frame, 9000 capacity frame? Your virtual switch cannot handle it. Okay, that's why there will be traffic failure here. Traffic junction or packet drops will be there. So vmotion also will fail for this region. When it is initiated from here, if this value is mismatched, then packets will be dropped here. So vmotion will not complete. Okay. So that should be same value, either both 1500 or both 9000. 9000 it is possible only with DV switches. Standard switch doesn't allow. Standard switch on ESXi standard switch maximum allows for 1500 only. If you want to use the jumbo frames, if network switch technician is asking you, this is the minimum value or whatever, I want to use jumbo frames only here, then we have no option. We have to configure DV switch. DV switch has capability of handling 9000. Jumbo frames is possible only with DV switch. Okay, standard switch it's not possible. So that value should be same. Fine. Next. Second value is a port group. Let's say there is a port group, VM kernel port group, and here it has a IP address called 192.168.0 dot something like 100. And the other port group, normally it should be same series. For some reason, if it is like this, a different series IP address you have used. And if you enable vmotion here on this port group, and here it is on 0.100, different port groups. Okay, different port groups. Now they feel that it belongs to a different network and it belongs to a different network. They will never meet each other. vmotion will fail or not. Like even if it is it's a different network, that is possible, but there should be port number allowed between the source to the destination. Definitely, if there are two different subnets, there will be a firewall. Okay, on the firewall, it should be allowed. What is the port number for vmotion?
8000.
8000. Just now we discussed, right? That 8000. So source IP, we have to give the source IP and destination IP. and port number to the security team. 8,000. That's why we need to know what port, like your service work, vmotion service works on 8,000. We have to give this source, destination, and port. Then they will allow it. Then it will work. If not allowed, it will not work. Okay. Clear? So how to test, like that vmotion and vmotion is enabled here. How to check the destination port number if it is allowed or not? Any idea? How to check
CD.
port number is allowed or not? Yeah, command prompt. CMD means command prompt. When you are answering, you should not say CMD. You should just say from the command prompt. Command prompt space. I mean, from the command prompt, what you want me to check, like this.
Tel,
Telnet.
Telnet IP.
Let's say google.com. Port number 80. 80 is internet service. It's working. When you enter, if it is immediately blinking like this, a session is already connected. Port number is working. If I check something like 902, it will never connect. Okay, it will say could not connect to the server over port number 902. There is no port open to it. Google is allowed publicly. That's why we are able to reach via port number 80. Like everybody can connect to google.com. That's why it is allowing us to use 80. Telnet is working. So like that we can use if vmotion is, if they are enabled on different subnets. First verify why it is different subnet. All the hosts are having same problem or only one host. Let's say if it is like this, 192.168.10.100, let's say it will not be same IP, it will be 101. All other hosts in that cluster having 192.168.0.100, 192.168.0.102, 103, 0. All are 0.103, 100 series. And only one of the hosts 10 dot series. So definitely while typing, someone could have wrongly entered it. So you change it to 0, it will work. And first verify if it is showing 0, what is the VLAN ID there? On this port group, what is the VLAN ID? Okay, so why in a cluster, if all other hosts are matching some value and only this host is giving a different value, something definitely it's a human error. In a cluster, normally everything should be same for a port group. Okay? So you only while entering 0, someone would have typed 1 also. That could be possible error. Those two reasons, like it should be enabled on the same port group. Check the MTU value on vSwitch versus physical switch. And verify if vmotion is enabled on different subnets on source and destination. Okay. Verify if source and destination they have been enabled on different subnets.
Is it possible to port binding?
Port binding? No. Port binding की दिन की संबंध में. Port binding is only for teaming purpose. ఒకటి ఫైల్ అయినా ఇంకొకటి డేటా హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తుంది, redundancy or teaming. Clear?
What is the difference between public IP and private IP? Customer has to be, they are provided private IP. What is the public?
Okay. సో పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ అంటే మనం డైరెక్ట్గా ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఆ ఐపీని డైరెక్ట్గా ఇంటర్నెట్లో యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఒక డివైస్కి పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ ఇచ్చి డైరెక్ట్గా ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇంటర్నెట్ డైరెక్ట్గా ఆ మెషిన్ని పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ నుంచి కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ప్రైవేట్ ఐపీ ఇస్తే డైరెక్ట్గా ఇంటర్నెట్లో వర్క్ అవ్వదు. దాని డిజైనే, ఆ ఐపీ డిజైనే అలా ఉంది. ఆ ఐపీని లోకల్గా మాత్రమే యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో ఇంటర్నెట్కి డైరెక్ట్గా కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలంటే నాటింగ్ యూజ్ చేయాలి. నెట్వర్క్ అడ్రస్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్. ఈ ప్రైవేట్ నుంచి ఇంకో పబ్లిక్ వెళ్ళి అక్కడి నుంచి మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళాలి. సో ఓన్లీ ఫర్ లోకల్ కమ్యూనికేషన్, లోకల్ నెట్వర్క్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ we use private IP. For public communication we use public IP. ప్రైవేట్ అన్నిటికీ ఉంటాయి, ప్రైవేట్ అండ్ పబ్లిక్ బోత్ ఉంటుంది. పబ్లిక్ లేకపోతే ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. It's like a proxy, like public IP gets the services and translate it to the private IP. మనం Wi-Fi modem లో అంతా కదా laptop, my laptop also has private IP. If I check what is my IP configuration, local IP only. ఇది private IP. ఓన్లీ ఈ ల్యాబ్లో కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయడానికి మాత్రమే ఐపీని యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఇంటర్నెట్కి వెళ్ళాలంటే ఒక పబ్లిక్ కావాలి, అప్పుడు పబ్లిక్ అసైన్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ ప్రైవేట్ పోతుంది, అప్పుడు నేను లోకల్ నెట్వర్క్లో కమ్యూనికేట్ అవ్వలేదు. సో అందుకోసం నాటింగ్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. వైఫై మోడెంలో ఒక పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ ఉంటుంది, ఇక్కడున్న లోకల్ డివైజెస్ అన్నీ ఆ వైఫై మోడే కనెక్ట్ అయితే ఆ పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ నుంచి వచ్చే ఇంటర్నెట్ సర్వీసెస్ లోకల్కి వస్తాయి, లోకల్ నుంచి ఆ మోడెంలో ఆ ఫీచర్ ఉంటుంది, నెట్వర్క్ అడ్రస్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్. అది నార్మల్గా ఫైర్ వాల్ డివైస్లో ఉంటుంది, రియల్ టైంలో అయితే ఫైర్ వాల్ డివైస్లో ఉంటుంది నాటింగ్. దే విల్ డూ నాటింగ్, బట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి హ్యాండిల్ బై నెట్వర్క్ సెక్యూరిటీ. Okay, these two things still, like vmotion, if it is failing, right, find the task ID from the vpxt.log file. What is vpxt log file?
vCenter.
vCenter.
It's the vCenter agent.
Yeah, it's a vCenter survey, vCenter log file. You can simply say like vCenter log file. vCenter log file. So if a task is failed, vCenter is vmotion is vCenter level feature. Okay. So if vCenter is there, then only vmotion will work. If a task is initiated, definitely vCenter will know it. It will be there inside the vpxt log file. You can filter, you can open the vpxt log file and check for the failed vmotion, and using the task ID you can find it, and you can find the reason there only, like why it failed, and you can fix that also. First, these 2 points are enough. If they are say like even they are fine, still what is